Hello! First off, good for you for taking the time to watch this video to better your business. This is the best step that you can take. Last summer at SFR, I was listening to one of our fantastic speakers and I texted my husband, I want to do that. I want to get up on stage, tell my story, and motivate people to have success in their business and inspire others the way so many here have inspired me. I'm not an extrovert that enjoys public speaking or the spotlight by any means. I didn't chase this down because how does one even do that? Well, if they have something that they want to do, they follow and do things that other people do. They see what other leaders are doing and they do it. And what do you know? In November, I received an email with a survey asking if I'd be interested in presenting at World Tour. And with the encouragement and support of my husband, here I am. Did you know that only 2% of sales are made on the first contact? 3% are made on the second, 5% of sales are made on the third, 10% on the fourth contact, and 80% of sales are made on the 5th through 12th contact. The average salesperson only makes 2 attempts to reach a prospect. I was one of those 5 to 12 attempts. I had been using Scentsy for years, but had no interest in selling. My sponsor asked or planted seeds for 3 years before I finally said yes. So just remember, no, whether that be to buy, host, or join doesn't necessarily mean forever. It might just mean not right now. My name is Sarah Ferullo. I'm a director in Midland, Michigan. I'm a shooting star and sensational start level 3 earner. I'm a 2-time annual sales excellence and 3-time trip incentive earner. I'm so honored to have been selected to present the wonder of simplicity for World Tour. Simplicity with your parties, customers, and follow-up. People think that if something is complicated, then it must work. Success is dependent upon simplicity. The simpler we can make things, the more successful we will be. It's as simple as that. Simplicity aids understanding. It allows us to focus better. It increases belief and builds confidence. The value of simplicity has been known for centuries. We understand that simplicity is key, yet we somehow still have a natural tendency to overcomplicate things. Think about how many times you've unnecessarily complicated things in your life when they could have been very simple. I'd be willing to bet it happens more often than not, right? Sometimes we need some help shifting our perspective on life and remember how the best things in life tend to be the simplest. A British author, Amelia Barr, said it is always the simple that produces the marvelous. And today I'm going to start with that dreaded F word, follow-up. Follow-up doesn't have to be scary or pushy and salesy. I learned my simple follow-up system from my dear friend Kimberly Wilkins, and it has made a huge difference in growing my business. I met Kim in June of last year, and I started doing her Green Light Challenge, and my business absolutely exploded. First off, I add 25 new friends on social media every day. If we have at least 10 friends in common, I'm adding them. Second is the Green Light Challenge. Go to Messenger, and anyone that has a little green light means that they are on and active right now. I go to their profile and start commenting and reacting to their posts. Nothing Scentsy related, but this builds those genuine relationships. It helps you get to know your customers and see all the fun things that they're doing. You'll know who's graduating, who's getting married, who just had a baby, and who's traveling. And this will show them that you genuinely care about the things going on in their lives. This does more than just building those relationships that are so important. Commenting and reacting to posts shows the algorithm that, hey, these people know each other and like each other. Let's show them more content on their feed. If you're sharing Scentsy daily like you should, they will associate your name with Scentsy. And just that constant interaction might help them remember, oh, hey, I wanted to order a bar from you, or I need a warmer for a wedding gift, or a new wall fan and pod for my son that's going off to college. I share Scentsy everywhere, not just in my VIP. That new friend will start to see my Scentsy posts in their feed and associate my name with Scentsy. You don't even have to be that pushy salesperson that goes around and asks them to place an order for you because they will already associate your name and your face with Scentsy, and just seeing you show up in their lives constantly will help them remember that they wanted to place an order. Now for the final part of my follow-up. Every single day I go to my list of birthdays and send each one a private message wishing them a happy birthday. I don't post it on their wall. Those get lost in the hundreds of comments they'll get, but they'll notice and remember that you took the time to message them privately. And because they are associating you with Scentsy, it could remind them that they wanted to treat themselves to that warmer or stock up on wax. I can't even tell you how many orders I received shortly after messaging them happy birthday. Those simple systems help build your customer base, meet new people, and build those genuine relationships. My favorite way for growing my customer base is through events. I find the majority of my events through Facebook. I always find out who the event coordinator is and message them directly to get the application and payment information. I love doing events because when people come into my booth, it's free game to talk about Scentsy. They chose to be there, and while I'm chatting with them, I have them scan a QR code I created that links to a digital customer information card. In the past, I was finding out that I missed out on customer contacts because I couldn't read their handwriting. Switching to digital helps ensure that I get their information and gets them into my VIP and added as a friend. You can create your own contact information card with Google Forms, Jotform, or Project Broadcast, which is what I use. I also keep a remarkably simple happy mail. My happy mail is every time I get an order, they get an immediate thank you text message from me. If it's someone that I never met before, I try and find them on Facebook so I can add them to my contacts and get them into my Green Light Challenge. They also get added to my Scent of the Month Club for 3 months. Every time they place an order, they get a felt sample with the Warmer of the Month brochure and my newsletter. I started something new in January where I pre-made a bunch of envelopes with my return address on them. As soon as someone orders, I fill out their name and address on that envelope, so at the end of the month, all I have to do is stuff them with the samples, put a stamp on it, and send it out. I got behind in my Happy Mail because it was overwhelming trying to write 50 to 60 addresses all at once, make those samples, and get them mailed out. My simple follow-up system was no longer simple for me. So now I fill out their envelope as soon as I get that PWS ding, that little email that someone has ordered from my website. So at the end of the month, as soon as my samples are dry, I just stuff the envelope and we're good to go. I don't wait and do it all at once anymore. Now for simplicity in your parties. I have partied lots of different ways. And the one thing I want to remind you is how one-person parties may not work for you, and that's totally okay. The way you used to party may no longer work for you, and that's okay too. Don't be afraid to pivot or switch things up if they're not working anymore. I'll be honest with you, not all of my parties have been successful, and not 100% of yours will be either, and that's okay. It's okay for something to work for someone else and not for you. You just have to find what does work for you and your business and your customers. Try something new and be consistent to see if it works. When I first joined, I noticed a major decline after reaching Sensational Start 3. I had to switch up what I was doing, and I learned how important host coaching is and how important it is to keep things simple and still fun for my hosts and their guests. Last spring, I started using Visly, which is an automatic posting service to post my parties. It started out great. I loved it. It saved me so much time, and my parties were higher than they had ever been. Fast forward to the fall and closer to winter, my parties weren't anywhere near as good as they usually were. Full transparency, November and December were my slowest months ever, which is usually not the case. I fully attribute it to the style of parties I was doing. It wasn't working for my customers anymore, so I switched it up. I pivoted, and now I do live bingo parties, which have been so much fun and such a hit. I spend 20 to 30 minutes playing bingo with all my new friends. I do these slightly differently than most bingo. I still create a group and share posts about the products, but the guests earn their bingo numbers. They get 1 number for every reaction and comment that they have, 2 numbers for following my business page, and they get 3 numbers for accepting my friend request and joining my VIP. I keep track of the numbers that I assign each person, and now it's game time. I go live in the group and show the products in between each number called. We play 3 games, I go through multiple product categories, and the first person to get 5 numbers wins. And at the end of our bingo, everybody places their orders. It's been fantastic. My hosts love it, my customers love it, and everybody is wanting to book more bingo parties. So by keeping it Scentsy simple and keeping things fun and being willing to change and pivot and adapt to my customers' wants and needs, things have been excellent. And when it comes to in-home parties, I sent a simple message to all of my locals and said, hey, if I bring over pizza and your beverage of choice, would you be interested in getting some friends together for a sip and sniff? This was phenomenal for Bring Back My Bar. I brought the Bring Back My Bars, a warmer, my air purifier, a super small setup display, and we just had fun figuring out which Bring Back My Bars were our favorites, which ones we need to add to club, and which ones were just awful, because we all know that sometimes there's an awful one in there. So keeping it simple in your parties also helps people be like, hey, I think I can do what she does. That was so easy and so fun. I think I want to join her team and make some extra money doing this Scentsy thing. If you make things too difficult and make it look like it's hard or hard work or another job, they aren't going to want to do it. They don't want to learn something new or invest money in something that is going to be difficult. They are so used to thinking that if they have to spend money to make money, that it's a scam, which we all know isn't true. If you go out and start your own business in a brick and mortar place, you have to pay the mortgage and rent on that building. You have to pay for all of the supplies to furnish that building. and you have to pay for all of your product up front. We are so blessed with Scentsy that we don't have to carry stock. We don't have to invest and buy products to have on hand to sell to our customers. We have a fantastic website and a fantastic IT and support team that handles all of our orders for us. And when you show people how fun and simple it is to do Scentsy, the more likely they are to join your team. So find a party system that works for you. Get back into people's houses. Try Visly to post your parties. Try going live either with bingo or just a short product display. Make those connections with your customers and friends. Grow your network. And I can't wait to see how these simple steps can help your business flourish too. Scentsy!